It is moving at over 1.7 kilometers per second. At this speed, interception should be impossible. The sheer friction of the air has ignited a cloud of superheated plasma around its titanium hull. Ground-based radars are staring directly at it, but what they receive back is distorted, scattered, and incomplete, a signal that refuses to resolve into a clear target. For the last decade, this weapon has been sold as the ultimate checkmate. The media calls it an unstoppable doomsday weapon, a hypersonic threat that renders every defense system on Earth, from the Patriot to the Aegis combat system, obsolete. We are told that by the time you detect it, you are already dead. But that is not entirely true. In the world of hard engineering, magic does not exist. Physics calls this weapon something else, a system of extreme capabilities, balanced by equally extreme limitations. Hypersonic missiles are not unstoppable, but they may be among the most difficult targets ever created. So the real question is not whether they can be stopped, but why they are so hard to stop in the first place. In a real conflict, that question matters more than ever. Decisions may be made in minutes or seconds. To answer that, we have to look past the sensational headlines and military propaganda. We have to look at thermodynamics, kinetic energy, and the unforgiving laws of atmospheric drag. A missile is technically classified as hypersonic if it travels above Mach 5. But here is the detail most headlines ignore. Speed is not new. Traditional intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, routinely exceed Mach 20 during re-entry. If pure speed was the deciding factor, this problem would have been solved decades ago. The threat is not speed. The threat is unpredictability. To understand how to stop a hypersonic missile, you first have to understand what it actually is. The true challenge of these weapons is not how fast they move, but how little they behave like anything we have dealt with before. Think of a traditional ballistic missile as a solved equation. Once its rocket booster burns out, gravity dictates everything that follows. It travels along a predictable arc, and modern defense systems can calculate its future position with extraordinary precision. Hypersonic weapons break that predictability. Today, two primary types dominate this field: hypersonic cruise missiles and hypersonic glide vehicles. Hypersonic cruise missiles are powered by scramjet engines. Unlike conventional jet engines, scramjets rely entirely on forward velocity to compress incoming air. There are no rotating compressors, only speed, pressure, and combustion occurring at supersonic flow. This allows sustained hypersonic flight within the atmosphere. Hypersonic glide vehicles take a completely different approach. They are launched atop ballistic rockets carried to the upper edge of the atmosphere and then released. But instead of falling in a predictable arc, they dive into the atmosphere and glide, using aerodynamic lift to extend their range and alter their path. And this is where the challenge begins. Because these vehicles remain within the atmosphere, they can maneuver. They can shift direction mid-flight, adjust their trajectory, and disrupt every prediction a defense system attempts to make. They are not just fast. They are constantly changing where they are going. It is flying low, it is flying fast, and it refuses to follow the rules. The plasma wall. But maneuvering at these speeds comes at a cost, and this is where everything starts to break down. At Mach 6 and above, the interaction between the vehicle and the atmosphere becomes extreme. The air in front of the missile compresses violently, heating to such an extent that the molecules themselves begin to break apart. This process, chemical dissociation, creates a layer of ionized gas, a plasma sheath that envelops the vehicle. This is not just heat. This is a transformation of the air itself. Plasma interacts with electromagnetic waves in complex ways. When radar signals encounter this ionized layer, they are scattered and absorbed, degrading the quality of the return signal. Tracking does not disappear entirely, but it becomes uncertain, inconsistent, and delayed. At the same time, this plasma sheath interferes with communication. Signals attempting to reach the missile or leave it must pass through this turbulent layer, often resulting in partial communication loss. Guidance systems must rely heavily on inertial navigation during these phases. The faster the vehicle moves, the less margin it has to correct even the smallest error. The reality check. This brings us to the moment where theory meets reality. In May 2023, the skies over Kyiv became a testing ground. Russia deployed the Kh-47 Mantu Kinzhal, a missile widely described as an unstoppable hypersonic weapon. The target was defended by a Patriot air defense system, And against expectations, the missile was intercepted. But this moment needs to be understood carefully. The Kinjal is not a true hypersonic glide vehicle. It is an aeroballistic missile, launched from an aircraft, following a quasi-ballistic trajectory. And that distinction matters. As it descended into thicker layers of the atmosphere, aerodynamic drag began to take effect. Energy was lost, speed decreased, maneuverability became limited. By the terminal phase, the missile no longer retained its theoretical peak performance. It became a target that modern intercept systems were designed to engage. This does not prove that all hypersonic weapons are easily defeated, but it proves something far more important. Even the most advanced systems are still bound by physics. The infrared paradox, and this is where the deeper paradox emerges. The same aerodynamic heating that creates the plasma sheath also raises the surface temperature of the vehicle to extreme levels, often exceeding 1000 degrees Celsius. Against the cold background of space, this heat is impossible to hide. Space-based infrared sensors do not rely on radio waves. They detect thermal signatures. And a hypersonic vehicle, glowing at extreme temperatures, becomes one of the brightest objects in its environment. From orbit, it does not disappear. It lights up. And attempting to evade one detection method, the missile exposes itself to another. It is not invisible. It is highly visible, just in a different spectrum. The counterstrike. But the shield did not stay still. Defense systems are evolving, not by trying to match speed alone, but by redesigning how detection and interception work. Satellite networks are expanding into distributed constellations, capable of continuous global observation. Infrared tracking systems monitor thermal signatures across vast areas, reducing reliance on traditional radar alone. On the ground, radar systems are adapting. Lower frequency bands interact differently with plasma, offering alternative tracking methods even under extreme conditions. And interception itself is changing. Instead of waiting for a hypersonic weapon to enter its final descent, new systems aim to engage it earlier, during its glide phase, when its trajectory is more stable and its thermal signature is most pronounced. The shield is not static. It is learning, and it is catching up. The verdict: hypersonic missiles represent one of the most advanced achievements in modern engineering. They operate at the edge of what materials, aerodynamics, and physics can sustain, but they are not beyond those limits. Every increase in speed introduces heat. Every maneuver consumes energy. Every attempt to evade detection creates new forms of visibility. There is no such thing as an unstoppable weapon. There are only weapons that challenge existing systems, until new systems are built to meet them. Hypersonic missiles did not end warfare. They changed its equations. And in that equation, the race between offense and defense continues, faster, more complex, and more unforgiving than ever before. There is no unstoppable weapon, only weapons we have not yet learned how to stop.